Hello, Josue. Welcome to our class.
Thank you.
How are you today?
Well, normal, but everything is going great. And you?
Okay, that's something really good. I'm fine today. Thank you for asking. So I'm really happy to be here with you today. Hello, Daniela. How are you today?
Hi, I'm okay. Today I have a meeting. I went to meeting with a new client or customer. I don't know.
Okay, yes, customers or clients, both are
Client.
correct.
Okay.
Okay, so, well, thank you for letting me know and thank you for being here. Okay, Daniela, Josue, nice to see you and nice to listen to you today. Let me text your classmates to start with our class. Let's see. Very good. Okay, I already texted your classmates, so we are going to start with our class today. One more time, everybody. Let me tell you that I'm happy to have you here in the class, and I am happy to start with you a new class. Okay, let me share my screen with you. Okay, well, in this opportunity, everybody, we have an important question. Well, this question is related to some activities that we will do during the week. So today, to start with our class, tell me, how was the world before COVID-19? So as you know, well, the pandemic, it's not over because we still have some cases of COVID-19 around the world, but nowadays it's kind of different as it was like 2 or 3 years ago. But I want to ask you, what do you think has changed since the pandemic? Okay, so what happened before the pandemic and what is happening now after the pandemic? So, Josue, what do you think about this? How was the world before COVID-19?
Okay, that's a really good question. I never think about it. But in this case, let me tell you that if we think with the reality, probably the war was really, really bad because someone can get up to the street and kill someone or probably steal someone. But with the COVID or pandemic, everybody is staying in our house, in their house, sorry. But I don't know, probably it was good and bad for some people, I think. Well, in my case, was the real war. For example, 3 years ago or 4 years ago, because the pandemic begins in 2019, I guess. Yes, 2019. So in 2018, I got sick, sorry. So when the COVID begins, the COVID kid, I don't know how to say, me pegó primero.
So I got
How do you
affected.
say that?
Maybe you can say
I got affected first.
uh-huh.
Okay, I got affected first in my family. So for that reason, 3 months more, I don't know how do you say, me volví asintomático.
Okay, that's a nice question. Let me look for the word, okay? Asymptomatico. So you can say I became, but I don't
I
know how to.
became,
Let me see. Let's open a
uh,
different window. Let me see. Okay, asymptomatico. Okay, asymptomatic.
asymptomatics, that's me.
Yes, that's the word. Let's see. Let me share the pronunciation with you.
Okay.
Asymptomatic.
Asymptomatic.
Asymptomatic. Well,
Okay.
you begin symptomatic, and that's it for me.
Okay, so it was kind of, well, it was kind of different, the pandemic, but as you, well, for you, it was kind of different because of those details, because of those important things that happened in your life and maybe around you, right? And what about you, Daniela? How was the world before COVID-19?
I think the people was more friendly, and you can touch the people. I think it's very important. You have um, I don't know how say interacción,
Oh, the interaction?
the interaction, but we can touch, and we can hang is I don't know. I think the today with my family, some people say no. It is I don't know the lejitos.
Uh, with distance?
With distance, and you can kiss me, or can hang. I don't know. I think is important for people have interaction with others, but today can.
Okay, thank you, Daniela, for sharing that. Well, that was also a great. Well, you mentioned important details about some changes that we had in the pandemic. Well, that's a good question, Josue. Let me see. Okay. Well, I remember that there is an expression and it's be aware of. Okay, be aware of, like ser precavido, right? But about something. Well, Daniela and Josue, you mentioned very important details about how was the world, and in this case, how was your life before COVID-19 and how was after the pandemic? Well, after the pandemic and different moments that we live, or different situations that we lived some years ago. I could mention that when the pandemic started, I thought it wasn't true. I thought it was like a common flu, or like something that will happen, that would happen very fast, but it wasn't, right? So nowadays we still have to wear face masks in some places. As Daniela mentioned, we have to keep some distance between some people. And obviously, if you travel by public transportation, so you have to wear your face mask, you have to use a alcohol gel. So there are many things, or there were many things that change thanks to or because of the pandemic, or because of COVID-19. And nowadays, since the things have changed a little bit, so nowadays, well, the face mask is not mandatory, so it's optional if you use it. At least in some places, it's optional if you use it or not. Also, the alcohol gel is not something mandatory. So there are many things that have changed with the time. And today, everybody, we will talk about those kind of things. As you know, the pandemic was an experience that we had some years ago in the past. Nowadays, we are still, or I mean, COVID-19 is still affecting some people, but now it's kind of different, okay? So it affects people, but less than when it started in 2019. So today, everybody, we have an important topic because we have to talk about past, but with two different tenses. And they are, everybody, present perfect and simple past. As you remember, well, in our last classes, we have studied two important topics. First of all, we studied the simple past, and after that, we studied the present perfect. Okay, so today we have to see the similarities of the two tenses and also some differences that we can find in both. Okay, so today to start, well, before we start, hello Alfredo, how are you today?
Thanks, Coach. I'm fine. Thank.
Okay, that's nice. So welcome to our class. Well, everybody, let's pay attention today to some information about present perfect and simple past. Please, Daniela, read this information.
Uh, we use the present perfect and the simple past to talk about past experience or events. That's all. Oh, I read the structure example.
Oh, that's it by now. Okay, thank you. As you can see, everybody, well, if you remember the explanation or the information about present perfect and simple past, we talk about or we mentioned that, well, simple past, it's used to talk about past events, okay? And present perfect is used to talk about past experiences. Well, present perfect have different uses, but if we contrast present perfect and simple past, we can talk about past experiences, something that we did or we have done in one or different opportunities in the past. Okay, so today we have well, we have the two structures and obviously one example per each. Okay, Josue, read the structure of present perfect and then simple past.
Okay, the structure for present perfect will be subject plus have plus verb in past participle plus complement has. And the structure for simple past is subject plus verb in past plus complement. And I have to read the examples. Okay,
Yes.
the examples for present perfect is I have eaten torrejas many times. And the example for simple past is I ate torrejas on my last vacation.
Thank you. So real life examples, guys. As you can see, in the first sentence in present perfect, we mention one experience I have had. I have eaten torrejas many times, okay? So I have or I have had the opportunity to do this action many times, but in the past, okay? Well, it can happen still in present, but at least by now I'm talking about a past experience, okay? Then in the simple past example, I am talking about the same activity. I ate torrejas, but the first difference over here, everybody, this is a past event, but I specify the time. I am specific with the time I did the activity. So I ate torrejas on my last vacation. So I can see that, well, in the Holy Week or on Easter, I ate torrejas. In the first example, I only talk about if I had had or not the opportunity to do the action. Then in simple past, I am talking about the specific time I did the action, okay? So this is about, well, some similarities or some kind of the similarities they have. But now let's check the main differences of present perfect and simple past, okay? Let's pay attention to it. We have, well, the first difference between present perfect and simple past. Alfredo, can you help me with a present perfect information?
Yes. Use the present perfect for indefinite times before now. We've never since a while.
Okay, thank you. What happened to my camera? Give me a second. Okay, very well. As you can see in the example, this is about an experience I haven't had, or something I have never done. We have never seen a whale, okay? Am I talking about, let's see, Daniela, am I talking about this specific time or not in the first example?
No, no. Do you know talk about a specific time?
Very good. I am not talking about the specific time. I could have the opportunity, or I have never done the activity. Okay, obviously I cannot say it because it's negative, but we don't use any time expression. Okay, but let's pay attention to the simple past. Josue, help me reading the information of simple past and example.
Okay, simple past. Use the simple past for the specific events or times in the past. I went to Los Cabanos Beach, but I didn't see any whales.
Very good. As you can see in these examples, okay, I'm talking about the place I went and I didn't see any whales. So I mentioned that in the specific event was when I went to Los Cabanos Beach. And sadly, I didn't have the opportunity. It's a past event. So I went to Los Cabanos. The main difference between these two tenses, everybody, is that in present perfect, I mentioned the experience I have had or I haven't had. And that's it, okay? Present perfect is to talk about the opportunity I have had or I haven't had to do or to see something. In simple past, I describe how was that event or how was that experience, okay? That's the main difference between present perfect and simple past. In present perfect, I just mentioned if I have done it or I haven't. Then in simple past, I describe all the time or all the event I have done. Let's see, for example, guys, in the first part, we have two examples. We are using the same activity. And the only difference, everybody, is that I have written to Rejas many times. It's talking about the opportunity or the experience I had. Then the simple past, I ate to Rejas on my last vacation, describes when did I do that action, or when did I have that opportunity or that experience. So remember, when we talk about past events, past experiences, we use present perfect to talk about or to mention that I had the opportunity to do it. And in simple past, I describe the complete, the complete event. Let's see the next part. Okay, remember guys, this is, well, the main difference when we talk about past experiences with a present perfect. Then in simple past. Then everybody, we have another important difference. Let's see, Josue wrote an example. Let's see, I will copy the example on the screen. Let me see. I did my homework last Sunday and I have done my homework in the last minute. Not really. In this case, we have to use inversion, or we have to put the sentences in the other way around, okay? So you can tell me, for example, I have done my homework. I did it last Sunday. So in this case, well, as I mentioned, In the first example, you are talking about the experience that you have. And then in the second example, you describe how was that experience. For example, well, as you remember yesterday, we were practicing some questions. We were talking about some questions using never, I have ever, right? Never, I have ever. So we were talking about, everybody, experiences that we have had throughout the years. I remember that one of this, of my examples was never have I ever been on TV, okay? Have you ever been on TV, guys? What about you, Daniela? Have you ever been on TV?
I don't remember what is the meaning to being. Sorry.
Oh, to be on the TV? To appear on a program on TV?
That I see is
No,
similar.
for
or
example, that you participate in Who Wants to Be Millionaire, or you participate in that you participate in a TV program.
Okay, no, I never.
You never. Okay, what about you, Josue? Have you ever been on TV?
Yes. I
So what
like
is your
that.
sentence?
So I have been on TV.
And how
Well, the
was,
company, right?
oh, I have been on TV and it's okay. Now,
Okay.
describe, how was that moment?
It was really, really, really scary.
Why
Because
were you on TV?
the channel 5, TSS, I guess.
Okay.
So we were having a festival of technology in my high school. So for that reason.
A technology festival.
Yep.
Oh, where did you study?
In Lobato Colegio. I don't know how to say that. But it's in Sonsonate.
Okay, maybe you can say private school, private. Well, if it was private,
yes,
right?
it's private.
Okay, that's nice. Well, thank you for describing that moment. But guys, I have a question. Is the first sentence simple past or present perfect? Fernando, what do you think? Is it present perfect or simple past?
Until period, present perfect, but before that, sorry, after that, it's simple past.
Very good. As you can see, well, he talked about one experience. He only mentioned the experience that he had. So he used present perfect. Because
And
we
the
use
last
present.
one,
Alfredo?
the last one is past continuous.
That's right. Okay, so we have past continuous example. So, but as you can see, okay, we use present perfect to mention the experience that we have had. Another question, guys. Have you ever eaten sushi? Have you ever eaten sushi? Fernando, have you ever eaten sushi?
Yes, I have eaten.
Really? Okay. And what is the sentence?
I have eaten.
I have eaten
Sushi.
sushi. Okay, very good. And how was that moment? How was that experience?
It was not bad, but it's not my favorite food.
Okay. Well, that's a great description of this. Okay, so very good. My favorite food. Well, thank you. As you can see, we use present perfect. As we did in the first example, we use present perfect to mention the experience that we have had. I can mention more examples about experiences that maybe you have had throughout the years, since you were a child until your age, the age that you have now, okay? But, okay, Remember that when we use present perfect, we don't specify, or we are not specific with the time, okay? That is the main difference between simple past and present perfect, that we are not specific in time when using present perfect. We only mention that we had the opportunity, but not the time we did it, okay? Then we use simple past to mention when it happened. For example, I have another situation. Let me see. I will write it in the other place, in the other side. Okay. Have you ever, let me see. Have you ever ridden on a roller coaster? A roller coaster, everybody, it's the one, it's a mechanic game that it's on the amusement parks, in which you are like in a train and it's up and down. So do you know what is a roller coaster? Kind of, but for adults. The gusanito is for kids, well, mostly for kids. Then the roller coaster is the one for elder people, like adults. Let me see if I find an emoji. So roller coaster, everybody, it's montaña rusa, okay? Montaña rusa. So montaña rusa is roller coaster, everybody. It's not Russian mountain, okay? No, guys. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, have you ever ridden on a roller coaster? Daniela, have you ever ridden on a roller coaster?
No, I never ridden a roller coaster because I am really scary. I hate it. Yeah.
Okay, but have you gone to the amusement park? To Consuma, to...
Mm, only once, but only for eating the the food, the fast food.
Okay, and how was the time when you go to, I mean, when you went to the amusement park? How was that day?
I went the last year.
Oh, and how was it? What did you do?
Only eat. Only eating.
Okay, so I only ate. Okay, very good. I only ate. Okay, nice. Well, Josue wrote something on the chat. I'm sorry because I didn't mention it, but it says, so we have to say the experience, then the description of that experience. Yes, Josue, that's the thing. Okay, that's what I explained to you guys, or that's why that's what I want you to get. Okay, that, well, when we use the present perfect, we only mention the experience that we have. Josue says, hey, I have been on TV, okay? And that's it. He didn't mention the time. He didn't mention, well, in this example, guys, he didn't mention how many times has he been on TV, but he can mention it. In present perfect, remember that we can talk about the period of time that something have happened, or let me see, or how many times something has happened. But we cannot mention the specific time. That's it, okay? Then we use the simple past to explain, to describe how did it happen. Josue mentioned, I was on TV and it was really scary. We were having a technology festival, okay? He mentioned how was that moment and what happened on that day, okay? He didn't mention the specific time, but in simple past, it's possible, okay? So remember, these are the main differences between present perfect and simple past when talking about past experiences, okay? We will practice in a moment, so we will check that later. Right now, everybody, pay attention to it. Please, Daniela, read information about simple past.
simple past. In simple past, we need to use the verbs in past.
Thank you. Fernando, read the information about present perfect.
Okay. In the present perfect, we need to use the verbs in past participle.
Very good. As you can see, everybody, at the end of that information, I wrote something into parentheses. And it says, everybody, B2 and B3. Why? Remember that on the irregular verbs list, we have 3 columns. The first column, guys, is the infinitive form of the verb, is the base form of the verb, or it's the verb in present, okay? The first column. So this is V1, okay? V1. Then everybody, my God. Then everybody, in the second column, we have the past form, a past simple or past form. This is V2, okay, of course. So remember, we use all these verbs to talk about simple past. I went, I saw, I said, I thought, I made, I took, I came, I knew. Okay, remember that we use these verbs in simple past. Okay, now everybody pay attention to the last form. The last column, everybody, are the past participle verbs. We use these verbs, everybody, in all, well, not in all, but in most of the perfect tenses. For example, present perfect and past perfect, okay? Also, we use it in a future perfect, but that's another thing, everybody. Today, don't worry about it. Right now, focus on present perfect. So we use the past participle verbs when we are talking about present perfect, okay? And remember that we use the auxiliary have or has, and then we use the verbs in past participle. I have gone, we have said, you have seen, she has thought, he has made, they have taken, or they have come, or we have known. As you see, everybody, we use, well, when we are using the past participle form of the verbs, we are talking about present perfect or another perfect tense, okay? That's another good difference or another common difference between simple past and present perfect. But this is not about the meaning or the use of simple past. It's more about vocabulary that we need to remember. Also, guys, talking about vocabulary, there are some words, let's see, some words for simple past. Let me see, for simple past. Do you know some words for simple past, guys? What about you, Alfredo? Do you know some words that we can use in simple past or to identify? Oh, very good. We use last. Any other, Fernando?
Uh, Yesterday.
Okay, yes, it's okay. Yesterday. What about you, Daniela? Do you know any other?
No, I want to say yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay. Do you remember any? Any other?
No, it's moment, no.
Okay. Josue, do you remember any other word that we use for to identify simple past?
Probably that is a word, it is a connector. For example, before.
Okay, before. That's pretty good. Or previously. This is an adverb, previously.
Ago.
Ah, very good, Daniela. Ago. Okay. Well, as you can see,
The day before yesterday.
that's another good one, Alfredo. Thank you. The day before yesterday. Okay, as you can see, before yesterday. Well, as you can see, we have some words that we use only for simple past or for past tenses. But today, because we are talking about simple past and present perfect, we focus on simple past. Okay, so we use these words, for example, last Sunday, last weekend, last night, okay? Then yesterday or the day before yesterday. Josue mentioned before, and I mentioned previously, so we also use those words to talk about past. And then everybody in ago, as you know, we use first period of time, and then we use ago. 3 days ago, 1 month ago, 3 years ago. So we use everybody the time or the period of time or a time expression, and then we use ago. Well, that's the same situation happened with present perfect. In present perfect, everybody, there are some words that we can use to identify that it's present perfect. Do you know any of these words? Let's see. Josue, do you know or do you remember any of these words that we can use for present perfect?
Well, in that case, I remember the word had, because when you say, well, when you present it to us the structure will be like subject plus have plus verb in past participle.
Okay, very good. Remember that have and has is the auxiliary, okay, is the auxiliary. So yes, it's very important. And remember, if we have this auxiliary and then we have a verb in past participle, so of course it's present perfect, okay? We have to remember that part when talking about this. Let's see, Daniela, do you remember any other word that we use in present perfect?
No, I don't remember.
Okay, don't worry. Let's see, Alfredo, do you remember any other word?
Already.
Already, pretty good. Okay, guys, well, that's an
Other
important
could be yet.
yet. Oops, yet. Very good. Those are very important words that we need to
And
use
other maybe could be until.
until, yes.
Uh, that's it.
Okay. Well, that's great, Alfredo. So you remember a lot of expressions that we can use. Fernando, do you remember any other word?
Maybe now or today.
Not really. Okay, remember that now. Well, today it's a time expression for present. We could mention, for example, for simple present or present continuous. I take a shower today, or I am studying English today, but not for present perfect, at least not for this time, because remember, present perfect never focus on specific time, okay? That's something important that we have to remember about present perfect. Well, some other words, guys, that I remember I mentioned that we can use in present perfect, guys, are for and since, okay? At least, guys, already, yet, and until, well, I can tell you guys that I didn't taught those words, so I didn't show you that those words during the class, but we can use them in present perfect. Okay, let me see. Ready? No, not really, okay? But we can use these words already, yet, until. I didn't show you that, I didn't show you those words, or I didn't teach those words but we can use them, okay? I hope, let me see. Tomorrow, guys, we will have a practice, or we will have a class about those words in present perfect. But today we can continue with this, okay? Then, guys, we talk about for and since to talk about periods of time, or when something started or when something happened, okay? So we can use these words, everybody, simple past words and present perfect words, to identify what's the correct tense, okay? And also remember the form of the verbs. The form of the verbs, guys, can help us to identify more easily what is the correct tense, if it is simple past or present perfect. Okay, now everybody, let's move on. Let me copy these words. Well, let me copy these words on the chat for you, and then we move. So let's see, simple past, present perfect. Let me copy the words. Okay, very good. Now, everybody, let's move on to our next practices. In this moment, guys, we have two games, okay? Let's check the first one and let's practice together correct sentences using simple past or present perfect, okay? Look at the sentences. Well, let me see. Yes, these are all the sentences. Let me move a little bit. I want to show you all the sentences at the same time, okay? Pretty good. Look at the sentences, guys, and decide what's the correct option. If it is simple past, remember that we only use the verbs in past. Then, if you think that the sentence is in present perfect, we need to use the auxiliary have or has, and then the verb in past participle, okay? Right now you have 1 minute to read the sentences and identify if it is past simple or present perfect, okay? 1 minute, everybody, go. Okay, everybody, time's over. So right now it's time to practice together. As you can see, we have to decide if it is simple past or present perfect. To start with this activity, guys, let's pay attention to Fernando. Okay, Fernando, help me with the first sentence, okay? I will show you the options. You decide which is correct, okay? Hello, Fernando.
What the hell?
Come on. Okay, look at this sentence, okay? My mom a cold last winter. What do you think is the correct option? Oops, let me move it.
My mom had
Okay, tell me the complete sentence.
a cold last winter.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. Okay, very good, Jose. Thank you. Let's see, Josue, you will help me with the second example. What do you think is the correct sentence? Let me show you the options.
The first one. I haven't done my homework yet.
Okay, I haven't done my homework yet. Thank you. Let's move to sentence number 3. Help me, please, Daniela. What is the correct sentence? Let me show you the answers.
Both a house this year.
Okay, they bought a house this year. Thank you. Alfredo, help me with the next sentence, number 4.
I have got married a few months ago.
I have got married a few months ago.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, number 5. Okay, Josue, you will be my volunteer in this one.
Okay.
Let me show you the answers.
We went to China in 2010.
Very good. We went to China in 2010. Thank you. Let's move on to the next sentence, please. Okay, Fernando, you are my volunteer.
Son read 2 books this week.
Okay, thank you. Let's move to, okay, Alfredo, what's the next sentence?
We didn't go to school yesterday.
Okay, we didn't go to school
I can change
yesterday.
my answer in the married.
Oh, what is,
I got married a few months ago.
why is it simple past and not present perfect?
Because we mentioned a specific moment. In this
Ah,
case, it's a month ago.
very good. Okay, thank you. That example is correct. So good job, Alfredo. Great change. Okay, now let's move to to this example. Daniela, what is the correct sentence? Let me show you the options.
I lost my watch 2 days ago.
Okay, I lost. Well done. Now everybody together. Now everybody together, let's check the last 2 sentences, okay? So what do you think is the right option? We never played or we have never played? What do you think? Please write on the chat, what do you think is the right answer? Let's see. Have never played. We have never, okay, everybody. So we have never played rugby until now. And let's see, we have, well, the last example, it's a question. So let's see, to Brazil. Were you ever or have you ever been to Brazil? Write on the chat, what do you think is the right option? Okay, Alfredo, have you ever? Daniela, have you ever? Fernando, have you ever? Okay, so 3 people says, have you ever? Let's check together, everybody, the right answers. Okay, we have 80. Why? Okay, this one is, there are 2 examples that are not correct. Let me eliminate this chart and we can check. Okay, we have, they bought a house this year. Okay, what is the right option? Is it simple? Is it simple past or present perfect?
I think it's present perfect because don't say a specific, very, very specific, but this year I think it's a specific time, no?
Let me see. Okay, in this case, well, I didn't talk about the specific time because present perfect, when talking about past experiences, doesn't specify the time, so it's not specific. But
Any time.
In simple past, sorry, when it's talking about past experiences, no. But in some cases, but this is another use of present perfect. As you remember, present perfect have 3 different uses, I remember. In some cases, it talks about something that started in the past and continues to the present. So they bought a house, they have bought a house this year. So the year still continues. It haven't finished, yes, yet. And then Sam has read two books this week. The week started yesterday, so it still continues. Okay, so as you can see, this week is still in progress. That's why we can use present perfect, because it's not talking about something that finished in the past, because it still continues. Okay, got it? Or are you confused about this? I confuse you even more. Okay, let me see. Got it. Okay. Let's check now, everybody. Well, they are correct. We have a 90 because we have to correct the sentences, but that's the main thing. Okay. As you can see, when we use this, we are not talking about the past. That's the main thing about that expression. That if we are talking about this, we are talking about something that maybe started in the past, but continues to the present. Okay. That's why a present perfect is the right option. Well, now guys, let's focus on past activities. Everybody, to finish with our class, let's go to our next activity. So let me share my screen with you, and then okay. What happened? Oh, it's moving. Well, in this practice, everybody, we also have to create sentences using the simple past or present perfect. So everybody, please, let's check what's the correct form. Okay, remember to identify the sentences using the time expressions or some specific words for simple past. Okay, let's start. And my first volunteer is going to be, well, ladies first. So Daniela, you are my first volunteer. Very good. I not study for the exam yet. Daniela, what do you think is the correct sentence? Well, first of all, I'm sorry, Jose, I think it's because of my internet too, okay? So let's see, Daniela, first of all, what do you think? Present perfect or simple past?
Is perfect. No, is present perfect.
Okay, so what is the correct sentence?
I have not studied students. I don't know.
Okay, studied.
Studied. Studied for the exam yet.
Okay, very good. I have not studied for the exam yet. Let me write the sentence on the chat for you. And there you go. That sentence is correct. Thank you. Now, Daniela, pick another person. You have Alfredo, Fernando, and Josue.
Oh, Josue.
Josue, very good. Let's move on to Josue and pay attention to the next question or the next sentence. Oh, Josue, this is a question. So tell me, is it present perfect or simple past?
So give me a moment because I have lag.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Don't worry.
Okay, I see. He drink all the juice. Okay. I guess it's well. I guess it's present past. Yeah. Yes, it's
Present
present past.
perfect? Present
Present perfect.
perfect?
Sorry. Yes. Sorry.
Yes, it's present perfect. That's right. So tell me, what is the structure of a simple, sorry, a present perfect question?
Well. So have he? Hmm, I don't know what is the. Well, he's drunk, right?
Yes.
So have he drunk all the juice?
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. But I have a question. Is it correct to say have he or has he?
Has he? Sorry, because it's third person.
Yes, okay, so very good. But you did a great example, so it is on the chat. And thank you, okay, because you are doing an amazing job. Now, Josue, tell me, Alfredo or Fernando?
Y Alfredo.
Alfredo. Okay, Alfredo, next example is yours. And the last one is for Fernando. Dun, 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 dun. Well, this is the same example. So let's see another one. My gosh, the same examples, guys. I don't know what happened. Eliminate. My gosh, let's see.
Could we try the next of this?
Oh yes, we will do that. If it repeats the same question, we try with the next one. Okay, so we have Lucy. The verb is appear on TV in 2014. Alfredo, is it present perfect or simple past?
Is simple past.
Simple past. Yes, you are right. Tell me what is the complete sentence?
Maybe Lucy appeared on TV in 2014.
Very good. Okay, that's the right sentence. So Lucy appeared on TV in 2014 or 2014. Well, I want to continue with this game, everybody, but it's time to go. I didn't notice the time and we only have 1 minute. So Fernando, you are saved by the bell today. So you will practice tomorrow you will continue practicing this tomorrow. Okay, so everybody, just before we go, I want to invite you, Fernando. Okay, I want to invite you guys to continue practicing at home. Remember how to identify, study how to identify a simple past and also present perfect, and try to use everybody this information that I share, and also practice with the activities that you will find on the platform. So please, everybody, go to the platform and complete the following activities. You will start Unit 4 today, so 4.0, and you will finish in 4.1.5, correct or incorrect? Okay. That's all for today, everybody. Nice to see you and to practice with you today, and that you understood and got all the information that I shared with you. Okay, everybody, I hope to see you tomorrow. I can only tell you and wish you a good night. Okay, bye-bye,
Good
everybody.
night. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, guys.